Welcome to the Officer Autumn podcast, the only podcast designed specifically for female cops in mind. I hope you enjoy this podcast episode.
What is up today? Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. We are talking about whether or not Autumn is man bashing. We got to talk about this. We have to talk about how I feel about what I'm talking about, and because it's highly triggering to a lot of people. And is this in fact man bashing? Am I man bashing? What do I believe in? Am I advocating for inept police officers to be on the road? Like what am I doing? Here's the deal. You've heard me say this, but I had to make a whole episode about it because just in case somebody they needed to get the DL on the old Autumn, they could. So we're going to tell them right now. Again, I'm in my car using a hands-free device. If you hear extra noises, I do have a podcast guy editing some shit. So hopefully he will edit the extra noise out. But I just want you to know to bear with me. Dropping 5 episodes a week causes me to do a lot on the go. So I want to tell you first, and like always, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for listening. If you want to join, we have a female cop face group. It's called Officer Autumn's Female Cops, women who are in the process and who are, in fact, police officers. We are going to be doing weekly live Q&As in there. So it's going to be a really good troll-free zone for you to come in and ask any questions you have and have good conversation. And I will be making videos for you, live Q&As, answering your questions in there and taking topics that we talk about in there and putting it on the podcast. So if you haven't come in, feel free to do that. So let's dive on in. So here's the deal. Am I man bashing? No, I just want to be very upfront with that. I really believe in equality. I believe in it very deeply. I am not somebody who is going to suggest that a woman, just because she is a woman, needs to be treated a certain way when she's on the job. In fact, if you actually consume any of my content, basically what I'm telling women is like, hey, here's how we fit in. There are things that are not right. Harassment, sexual harassment, bullying. There are things that are not right, but I am suggesting and in fact advocating and teaching women how to be the very best police officers possible. I believe in that, male or female. I believe that the best officer candidate should win for whatever position, whether it's to be hired, whether it's to go on a specialty team, etc. I do believe that. I do not believe in male and female physical standards. I don't believe in that. Yes, obviously, I know I'd have to work harder at that. Back in the day, my biggest thing, my weakest thing has always been my push-ups. Except back in the day, I did fail one PT test. There's several podcasts about this, but I did fail a PT test on one sit-up. Now that was all nerves. We can talk about that later. But so push-ups have always been my weak point, straight up. And but I don't believe that a woman should, for the push-ups, sit-ups, come on, they can be the same. They really should be, because we need officers, male or female, out there who can do the job. Okay. Now, do I think that is a good physical fitness standard? Not really. No, I think that we have some other ones out across the country. I'm sure you probably know of some that are far better than the Cooper standard, right? But I'm not man bashing. I want you to know that there's a lot of excellent male cops out there, excellent leaders who are males who treat women fairly. There are a lot of them. I have worked for some. I know some, and I'm not, I just want to say, I truly, and I'll make podcasts, I'll make content highlighting that. Absolutely. Giving women the same chance, the same opportunities, the same respect as, somebody else. I was just interviewing a woman by the name of Bridget you'll get to know her. She was a SWAT. She's former SWAT, which is very cool. Obviously, one of the few females or only females at her department, I believe, at the time, who was on SWAT. And she's now an attorney. But anyway, so we were having a conversation about this, and I just, in the middle of the podcast, I was like, wait a minute, like, I just need to be honest. Like, I believe in equality. I believe that women and men, I believe that there is a police officer standard. And so it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, you just need to pass that and reach that fucking standard. And if you can't reach that standard, then you can't do the job. And it's the same to me. It's the same in like, I think that we need to be having standards for like jujitsu and martial arts and your ability to take care of yourself. I really fully believe that there should be a standard around that. I do. I think that I don't know how the fuck we're hiring officers who can't take care of themselves. And if that's you, your ass better get to the fucking martial arts gym and in a fucking hurry. And yes, do I think jujitsu is amazing? Sure, I do. I also know that learning how to kick, learning how to punch, learning how to bob and weave, I do believe boxing and kickboxing have their place. I think that you could start there. It's certainly far less intimidating for a woman or even a male who's never fucking grappled before. I think it's far less intimidating, and then you can get on the mats. Like that's how I feel. Now, yes, I will not lie to you. Jiu-jitsu has a lot of benefits for cops, okay? A lot of benefits. I do want you to still train jiu-jitsu, but honestly, at the end of the day, I want you to be able to handle yourself. And however you want to start that journey is how you want to start that journey, and I'm good with it. I just want you to do that. And I just want to say that I think that it doesn't matter male or female. I want my officers, and you do too. Like, we want our officers to have our backs. Right? Like we get in this job and that's what we want. We want to know that when backup comes, male or female, it doesn't fucking matter. They are going to be a solution to the problem and not a fucking liability, right? Not an added problem, an added issue, gasoline igniting the fire, igniting the problem. And so I just really want to say that again. And I think it's important that we are all on the same page. I'm focused on women. Why? Because there's nobody out there focused on us. That's it. Why is that a big deal? Like, why is that so triggering for everybody? I have been teaching cops and leading cops for 8 years, men and women. Okay. But then I fucking, I've done a lot of it to know there's nobody just talking to the girls, and it is different for us. It is. We are different than men. We are. Okay. So we have to address that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing sexist about it. It is what it is. There's no different than there's a lot of men that cater just to men things. No different at all. So I just believe in equality. I want officers to do a fucking good job. Now, if there's a female who is not qualified or not keeping up for the job, I will be the first one to be like, get her the fuck out, get out, or fix yourself 100%. But I'll do the same thing with a guy. It makes no fucking difference to me. I really believe in the best person to be able to do the job. And if you can do the job and you can do it just as good and if not better than, what the standards are and what they are for everybody, then perfect. But quality matters. Equality matters. And that goes with how we treat one another. And that also is why that's why I have a class called the Female Street Cop. Like, when you are a police officer, you need to hold yourself to a standard. Now, in this day and age, it's changing, and I understand that, but we still have standards we have to hold ourselves to. We still need to dress a certain way. We still need to be acting certain ways. We need to be presenting ourselves certain ways. I don't think that's ever going to change. Okay. And I'm just teaching how to be less of a liability. I'm literally teaching that for the women because nobody's out there talking about it. Nobody's like, hey, if you come to work with a messy fucking bun and you can't fight your way out of a fucking wet paper bag, you are highly emotional, you scream on the radio and whatever, yeah, you're going to develop a bad rep. Nobody's talking about it. So I'm going to talk about it because I care. And, you know, if that's offensive for people, that's okay. That's okay. That's your stuff. It's not my stuff. And that's okay too. You know, everybody can have their own opinion. I'm not forcing anybody to listen to this podcast. I'm not forcing anybody to listen or consume my content that I put out on the socials. I'm just putting it out because it was what I needed. It was what I needed when I started. I didn't have anybody. I had to talk to, you know, I've talked about this before, but you know, I'd have to go on ride-alongs. I'd have to interview women. I mean, and the culture wasn't open for that. It was really about like, you're coming to my PD? Well, we'll fucking see about that. You better prove yourself. And you know, we all need to prove ourselves. But like, you know, the culture, even within female cops, within agencies, it wasn't really great. And some places it's still not. And I really want to change that. I want to change the way that we see women in law enforcement on social media. I don't like it. I think it's a poor representation because I feel like I could take the majority of them and break them right over my knee. I'm just being honest, whether I can or I can't. Like, listen, guys, I'm not out there fucking training anymore like I used to. My back injury prevents me from doing a lot of stuff. I was back training jiu-jitsu a couple of years ago. Fucking my back. I was fucking grappling some big motherfucker who literally just crunched me after I was like, we're like practicing, dude. And he was just crunching me. And I'm like, no. Nope, it's not fucking worth it. I am not re-injuring myself because you're a fucking asshole. You know, and nobody wanted to say anything about it because, you just got to put up with it. But don't even get me going on down that fucking road. But anyways, I'm just saying like it just looks like that. I'm not trying to say out here I'm like wicked tough and stuff. I mean, I know that when I was on the road, I could handle my shit. And anybody who worked with me would tell you that. In fact, my old partners and shit, my old coworkers, a guy I went to the academy with, they pull up, they call me, they text me, they listen to my shit, and they're like, yeah, yep, yep. You know what I mean? I never had to worry about you. Well, okay, but that's because I trained and I made sure of that. And then, you know, I fucked up, I made mistakes, but I was always open to learning, you know, how to better myself. My FTO and I had a great relationship. I mean, I could still call him today. Like, and we had a great relationship and he told me the truth. Like, stop acting like that. Put your fucking hair up, you know, do this, do that. Don't act like that because this is how you're going to get a bad fucking rep. Well, you know what? We need more people like that out there. He wasn't doing it maliciously and he wasn't doing it to be sexist. He was just being honest with me. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. Period. The end. Period. The fucking end. So that's why, you know, that's how I feel. That's why I'm out here. And I really hope it's helpful for you. And I hope that helps you get to know me a little bit and understand why I'm out here and why I believe in this so much. It's like, I want to see you succeed. I want to see departments succeed. I want to see men succeed with working with women. Like, I want to see all the way around. I want to see men successfully mentor females. That's a new one. No, it's not new, but I mean, that seems to be a struggle. They don't know what to say or how to get through to them, or, you know, all these things. They don't want to offend us, but like, they don't want to treat us any differently because it's like, I don't want to treat you any different than I would treat Chad, right? It's like, that's what Joe, your FTO, was saying. But I would tell Chad this, and this. And I'm afraid that if I tell Susie this, and this, that she's going to fucking write me up. So now I'm walking on fucking eggshells. And then because I'm walking on eggshells, I might make a comment like, fucking don't say that around the new girl or whatever. And it could get taken out of context. And it's truly like all of this shit can be avoided. It really, really can. And that's, you know, I educate about that. I talk about that. I have episodes. I have, you know, content talking about that. I'll make more content always. In my training, I talk about that for the female street cop. Like, I talk about that, you know, kind of why, you know, what we're looking for and stuff like that. So anyways, hope that's helpful. If you want to join the Facebook group, you're more than welcome to. If you are not following me on the socials, TikTok's Officer Autumn, Instagram's Officer Autumn. You guys have questions, you can DM me at all times. And I will talk with you soon.